Yes, I do love you, Lord, and I do appreciate you. All of the things that you've done and the bondage you brought me from. Oh, yes, I do love you, Lord, for all of the unearned rewards, the victories, your son.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I know y'all are tripping out, saying, what's going on? 2 nights in a row. Bishop is on YouTube. Yes, 2 nights in a row. Got a lot to talk about. A lot of things have been on my mind as a result of, again, emails and text messages and inboxes and posts. I've been seeing some of you posting concerning relationships and things of that nature. It seems like everybody's on the hunt for relationship. Everybody wants to know, when is she coming? When is he coming? When is God gonna send my Boaz? First of all, Boaz is dead. Secondly, Boaz was Ruth's man. Get your own. So I thought I would just talk about this subject tonight. How to know when you're ready for relationship. How to know when you're ready for relationship. Because a lot of us are like children. We think we're ready for things we're really not ready for. The child, in his or her naivety, reaches for the knife, but the parent does not give the knife to the child, because the parent understands that even though the child thinks they're ready to handle that knife, they're really not ready. I'm talking to somebody right now. The question tonight is, are you ready for relationship? Are you ready for relationship? First question I'd like to ask you tonight is, how's your primary relationship? How is your foundational relationship? And you know what the foundational relationship is, right? It's not your relationship with some man or some woman. How is your relationship with God? How is your connection with God? Do you have an intimate relationship with God? Because anybody who does not have relationship with God is not ready for relationship with others. I'm talking to you. God is the foundation of all relationships. He is the foundation of relationship. This whole thing called relationship and marriage and all of the above was established by God first. And one of the things you'll note about Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden was Adam, before he had Eve, he had an encounter and a relationship with God. Adam and God have been talking. I'm talking to somebody in this room. A lot of y'all are trying to relate to people and you have not yet established your connection with God. Second thing you'll note is that Eve, while Adam was asleep, you don't know how much time Eve spent with God after he created. Adam just woke up and found Eve, but God had fellowship with Eve prior to Adam even getting up. So the primary relationship that all of us need to work on is that relationship with God. You don't need to be running behind a man or running behind a woman until you have run behind God. God, I'm chasing after you, no matter what I have to do, because I need you. Why do I need you? I need you for direction. I need you for wisdom as I begin to relate to other people. I need your wisdom. I need your guidance. I need you, God, to give me discernment so that I will know wolves that are dressed up like sheep. So I need to first get my primary relationship with God straight. But then after I have gotten that straight, there's some questions I need to ask of myself if I am going to discover whether or not I am ready for relationship? First question, I hope y'all ready. I hope y'all are ready. First question is this, and I'm coming right out of the gate throwing haymakers. The first question is simply this, and I kind of jotted them down. Do you like you? Let me go even further than that. Do you love you? Have you learned to love yourself? Because the truth is this: any person, any woman, any man who has not yet learned self-love is not ready to give love. I'm going to say it again. Any person, any man, any woman who has not yet learned self-love is not ready to give love. You're not ready for relationship if you have not learned to love you. Do you even like being with you? I would submit to you that many people you see who are relationship junkies, who jump from one relationship to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, and won't even let one relationship close down good or shut down good before they're in the next. I would submit to you that their greatest fear is being alone with themselves. You have to learn to love you before you are qualified to love anyone else. Why is it important for me to love me? It is important for me to love me because if I don't love me, I can't teach you how to love me. I cannot teach you how to give me what I have not given myself. Oh, it's quiet. So I have to love myself because understand it is your obligation to teach the person who desires you how to love you. But if you don't know how to love you, if you have not learned how to embrace yourself, how can you teach them to love you? How can you teach them to embrace who you are? Listen, where self-love is not present, this is the problem, y'all. Insecurity will be. Wherever self-love is not present, insecurity will be. And what insecurity does, when a person does not love his or herself, they are insecure in their approach to relationship. And what insecurity does is it puts a strain and a drain on relationship, and it makes that relationship an unsustainable model. So I got to love me, because if I don't love me, I can't teach you how to love me, and I will walk in insecurity. And instead of drawing you close to me, I will drive you far from me with my insecurity. And another thing is this: it is unfair for me to ask you to give me what I have never given myself. It's unfair. I can't even articulate my needs because I've never met them. I can't articulate how to love me because I've never done it. I can't articulate what you need to give me because I've never given it to myself. So self-love is extremely important as it relates to whether or not I am ready to enter into relationship or not. And if you have not learned to love you, and if you don't like being around you, listen, it's unfair to ask anybody else to be around you. If you have not learned to love you, if you have not learned to embrace you, you are doing people a disservice when you ask them to come into your life. This is the question you need to ask. When I invite you into relationship with me, am I asking you to come in and share my love, or am I asking you to break me out of the prison that I am in because I'm miserable? So am I asking you to come in, or am I asking you to rescue me and get me out? That's the question. Self-love is extremely important as it relates to whether or not I am ready for relationship. And if you don't like the person that lives in your mirror, nobody else will. Or even if they do, you won't accept that they can. Why? You've never deemed yourself worthy enough to love. So you will constantly put strain on relationship, and you'll never believe that a person can fully give you their heart because you have never ever loved yourself the way you deserved to love yourself. You and I have to get to the point that, like Adam and Eve, the Bible says they were naked and unashamed. You got to get to the point, and I have to get to the point, that I can look at me just like I am and love me some me. All right? Second thing, write this down. Second question you need to ask yourself is, am I emotionally available? Am I emotionally available? This is the question, y'all. Do you even have emotional space to accommodate a relationship? Do you even have emotional space to be able to share love with somebody? Or are you offering rooms that are already occupied? Are you offering pieces of you that have already been given out? Are you inviting people into rooms that other people live in your heart? Do you have emotional space? What do I mean when I say emotional space? Are you still emotionally tied to the people you've been with or the relationships that once were? Because this is what most people don't understand. Just because you have gotten them out of your face doesn't mean they don't still live in your heart. And it is unfair to invite somebody into a house that is already occupied. It is unfair to invite somebody into a relationship with you when you know you have chapters, I talked about it last night, that are unclosed in your life, and you still have issues in your heart that have never been resolved. Are you emotionally available? Are you emotionally available? Is your mind always consumed with who you were with? So that the person you are with doesn't even have space in your heart. Are you emotionally available? Are you emotionally available? Or listen, this is where you get rebound relationships from. This is where you get love on the rebound. And what is love on the rebound? It is when you are using this person to try to fill a void or an emptiness in you that was left by the absence of that person. So you have him here or her here trying to get over them. So your relationship with him has nothing to do with him. It has to do with the one you're trying to get over. That is unfair. It is cruel. And if you don't have emotional space, stop inviting people in. Close those chapters before you try to open new chapters. Close those chapters before you invite people in. Get folk out of your heart before you start trying to give pieces of it out. Ooh. It's quiet in this room. Are you emotionally available? Or is all of your emotional land, the landscape of your heart, is every part of your heart already occupied? But you are trying to rebound through this relationship and get over that relationship. If you know you have been emotionally unavailable, this is what you got to do. You got to take your life back from the people who have controlled your existence and kept you miserable and kept your life marginalized. Take it back by closing chapters. Third question, write this down. I'm not going to be long. Third question is a serious question. And this is the question. Are you self-fulfilled? Are you self-fulfilled? What do I mean when I say are you self-fulfilled? Here it is. Do you have something going on in your life that gives you a sense of pride? Do you have something going on? Are you doing something that gives you a sense of pride? Are you accomplishing something that gives you a sense of pride? Are you fulfilled with who you are and how you are? Or are you miserable with your life? Are you dissatisfied with your accomplishments? And are you walking around with nothing you can point your finger to that gives you pride about your existence? If you're waiting, brother, if you're waiting, sister, to be rescued, you're not ready. If you're waiting for someone to bring their prominence and rescue you from your mediocrity, you're not ready. If you're waiting on a knight in shining armor to come and save you from your shallow existence, you are not ready. If you're waiting for somebody to save your sinking ship, you are not ready. If you are waiting on a life preserver relationship, if you're waiting on somebody to throw you a life preserver and pull you to safety because your life is miserable, it is shallow, and it is unaccomplished, you are not ready. You're not ready for relationship until you can point at something that gives you pride about your life. Maybe you don't have it all together. Am I saying you need to be fully accomplished? No. There's some things you need to grow together in. Some things you need to do together. But guess what? In the initial embryonic stages of the relationship, there ought to be something you're doing before that person comes in. Or else what will happen is you will live your life based on what he does, based on what she does, and you will ride the coattail of somebody else's success because you ain't got none of your own. I'm talking to somebody in this room, and one of the saddest things in the world is to see somebody whose life does not matter separate and apart from another individual. So what I need to do is I need to be working on me. I need to be working on me. Are you self-fulfilled? Are you doing something that gives you a sense of pride? Are you accomplishing anything? Somebody said, well, I'm waiting on my husband to get a house. Well, let him find you with one. I'm waiting on my husband to get a car. Let him find you with one. I wish I had some help in that. So that when y'all get together, now you got two houses. Now you got two cars. The Bible talks about the fruitful relationship. And a fruitful relationship, everybody brings something to the table. The Bible says, be fruitful and multiply. That's what God said about the initial relationship. And that is still God's requirement for any God-ordained relationship today. You ought to be fruitful together, not just waiting on somebody else to bring the fruit while you are fruitless. Oh, my God. Don't y'all get mad with me tonight now. Don't get mad with me tonight. This ain't nothing but the truth. Are you self-fulfilled? Because what people do who are not self-fulfilled is they get married out of desperation and not out of desire. They get married out of desperation. Some of the saddest words I've ever heard in my life is, I just need somebody to complete me. So that means you're incomplete. That means you're unfulfilled. So what I need to do is I need to be happy with the person I see in the mirror before I invite somebody else into my picture. Oh, it's quiet in this room. That goes back to self-love, doesn't it? Are you self-fulfilled? Are you doing something that you can point at that makes you proud? And not waiting on a knight in shining armor to come and rescue you from a shallow existence. Listen, you know you're self-fulfilled when you're happy, when you're whole, and when you're healed. When you're happy with the course of your life, when you are whole and complete all by yourself, and when you are healed emotionally. Number 4, write this down. Write this down now. Would you want you? If you were not you and you were introduced to you, would you want you? Wow. Listen, there's a problem, brother. There's a problem, sister, if you are surprised when somebody wants you. There's a problem if you're surprised when somebody desires you. That means that you don't feel like you are worthy. You don't feel like you are accomplished enough. You don't feel like you have enough or you are good enough for a relationship. If you would not want you, that means you got some work to do. I'm talking to somebody in this room. If you're surprised when somebody wants you, you're not ready. Listen, this ought to be the mindset of every person who is seeking relationship with others. I will bring to the table what I expect from the table. Oh my God. Let me get up closer. I will bring to the table what I expect from the table. Too many people are entering into relationships expecting stuff from the table that they're not bringing to the table. So, Lord, this is the kind of man I want, or this is the kind of woman I want. I want one that's faithful, but you cheat. I want one that's got money, but you ain't got none. I want one with a job, but you on your couch. Huh? Listen, it is your obligation, it is your responsibility to bring to the table what you expect from the table. Remember, be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatever a man soweth, that shall he reap. Or in other words, whatever you put out is what you'll get back. Would you want you? If you would not want you, that does not mean you're no good. It means not now. It means that I'm not ready for relationship until I can look in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm not surprised when somebody wants me. I'm surprised when they don't, because I am something to behold. I am somebody to have. Listen, when you get me, you're getting a blessing. If you can't say that, if you cannot honestly look at who you are and how you are, that means I got to go to work and I got to get myself together. I got to get myself to the point that when I look in the mirror and I say, you know what? I'm not surprised when you want me. I'm surprised when you don't, because who wouldn't want all of this? What you want you? What you want you? Help me here. So as you begin to look people over and as you begin to put qualifications in your mind as it relates to what you expect of the individual that will ultimately win you, make sure that the obligations you expect of them are obligations you have put on yourself and requirements you have put on yourself, and make sure that the requirements you have for them are requirements you're meeting. because it is unfair for me to expect of you what is not in me. Listen, no one will ever want you until you want yourself. And until you can look in the mirror and say, you know what? I have value, I have strength, I have purpose, and I have power. And if you can't see it, ain't nothing wrong with me. It's something wrong with you. You're blind. I love me some me. God bless. So, listen, God has a God-ordained relationship for each and every person watching me tonight. God has, does that mean everybody's going to be married? No, it doesn't mean everybody's going to be married. I believe that, I believe that God has a relationship that is designed to complement you. I believe that everyone watching me tonight, God has a relationship in mind that is going to complement you. Somebody that is going to undergird you. Somebody that is going to support you. Somebody that is going, listen, but you got to make sure that you're bringing to the table what you expect from the table. I hope I didn't upset anybody tonight. I love you all so much. I love you all so much. My desire is not to make you bitter. It's to make all of us better. So I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. I am praying for you that you'll be strong enough to wait on what you want and not just take what you can get. All right? I love y'all. Have an amazing night. You serve an amazing God. And just in case you didn't know it, you are an amazing person. God bless. Have a great night. Hey, I need all of y'all to do me a favor. This is what I need you to do. I need you to press that subscribe button. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube page, I need you to do that right now. Press that subscribe button. I'm trying to bring you the stuff that I think your heart is yearning for. I'm trying to talk about the subjects that I think need to be talked about. I need you to support me. We're almost at that 20,000 mark. We're moving toward it. I believe we're somewhere around 1,500 people from 20,000 followers. So I need you to help me cross that line. And I know you can. So subscribe tonight. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have an amazing night. Blessings.
So yes, I do love you, Lord, and I do appreciate you. All of the things that you've done and the bondage you brought me from. Oh, yes, I do love you, Lord, for all of the unearned rewards, the victories, your son. I love you.